11:45 p.m. in some abysmally dystopic city. The smoky sky gave up its water. First in tiny little warnings pitter-pattering upon old rusted metal and concrete. Then within seconds, sheets of water droplets cloaked in pulsating winds walked the region. Hoodnab 1 sat within a brightly lit mobile diner, pensively sipping the last of his coffee after downing a slice of lemon pie. His covered head beneath a gray hoodie hung between his two beefy shoulders like an autumn leaf on its last cling. The pummeling rain screamed and screeched with the wind against the diner windows, beckoning for blood, it seemed. But Hoodnab barely looked up past his coffee cup until someone alerted him with, "Your sleeve's on fire. Dude, your sleeve's burning." Smelling the burn, Hoodnab looked left and right before spotting his left arm smoldering with tiny flame peaks nibbling the hoodie fabric. He quickly patted the stubborn flame before dumping the rest of his coffee across his arm. "What'd you do, lean on an ashtray?" The alarmist heaved a sigh of relief while the diner's owner, with a deadpan expression, shoved a wad of paper napkins at Hoodnab before tending his business. "Didn't even leave a mark." "You're lucky," the alarmist observed. Hoodnab gave an appreciative nod to the stranger, threw a backpack over his shoulder and headed slowly to the door, checking himself for any more of such mishaps. The rain sharply stopped as soon as Hoodnab stepped foot onto the pavement. The still persistent winds carried scents of wet rocks, urine, and decomposing foliage. He stalled his steps as if trying to remember what direction he wanted. He chose a path a bit more well-lit. 7 minutes into his walk, the strong, clean, sweet scent of an electric current grazed his nostrils. He then walked through a spot of intense warmth despite the chilled temperature outside. Hoodnab stopped to look behind him to see what made him feel so creepy. The sparse street lamps didn't hold enough juice to create such a warmth. Perhaps the chain-linked fence protecting a harvest of Christmas trees on the other side was electric. There did seem to be a dull hum. Hoodnab picked up his pace. Home ground was 10 blocks and 2 avenues away. It startled him aback when a loud fire engine horn bellowed for Hoodnab to get out of the road as a procession of 3 fire trucks thundered down the street, wailing the serious nature of their important duty. Hoodnab squinted against their volcanic red lights, spiraling angrily against the dark. As he proceeded in the same direction, his pace twice as quick, a grave feeling caused him to jog, then gallop, until finally he gave in to an anxious sprint. He could see the angry red lights parked 3 blocks away in front of a cluster of old townhomes. The red siren lights were joined by sky-tickling orange flames snap-crackling against the old gray, paint-chipped planks of his home. "Luna!" His breath expelled the name of his girlfriend who'd just gotten off the phone with him, back at the diner. Hoodnab ran into the bustle of onlookers, firemen, and fire hoses to get to a porch barely standing when one of the firefighters snatched him back. "My girlfriend's in there," Hoodnab shouted. But someone was quick to lead him to a stretcher where oxygen was being administered to Luna. Her eyes widened upon seeing Hoodnab. Her head shook back and forth as she attempted to speak. EMS placed her quickly into the ambulance before whisking her away. Hoodnab would try to follow in his vehicle to the community hospital. As soon as he reached for the car door, the house exploded, sending projectiles amid the neighbors' homes. A flaming cinder block crashed onto his vehicle's rooftop, sending Hoodnab onto his back. "Get back! Everybody get back! It's out of control!" a firefighter shouted. When Hoodnab opened his eyes, the entire block looked to be on fire. A fire tunnel formed quickly around him as the ground beneath him quaked and broke apart. Hoodnab couldn't make sense of what was happening with the roaring flames, rumbling ground, and relentless wind fanning the flames towards him no matter where he scurried. He managed to run away to an alley, a block and a half down from his house. He choked on smoke and debris, gasping for clear breath, when out of the corner of his left eye he spotted little flames igniting from within the pavement, as if someone's footsteps carried fire. The flame path stopped before him. Stunned out of his mind, Hoodnab looked around him to see what would happen next. A searing pain suddenly engulfed his left hand. It was like he'd dipped it into a vat of boiling water. He tried shaking the pain away, but it became unbearable, as exhibited from his cries. The hand began to swell and blister. Hoodnab's heart raced until he was almost breathless. He had to get to the hospital. He attempted to connect with one of the ambulances still on site, but the pain caused him to buckle over, collapsing to the wet pavement. In that moment, a brown parcel dropped from beneath his hoodie sweater and tumbled several inches from him. Paralyzed by pain now traveling up his left arm and entire side, he stared at the package and its unfamiliar addressee. Like so many of the unfamiliar addressed items he and Luna would collect over the years, due to sheer agony on his entire left side, he could only reflect, "Choices have consequences."